What's going on, everybody? It's your boy again here, the Sage Afronius, a friend Tinoco, uh, coming at you live not from North Memphis, but from some airport where the football team has sucked for the longest time and will again this year. Sorry, which guess which airport I am? Well, sorry, Cowboy fans, but you suck. But anyway, so like again, I tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. What you need to know. But anyhow, yeah. Oh yeah, I keep my price tag under my bill because of my one size fit all hat representing my hood. But anyway, yeah, I'm traveling to MTY Airport, not DFW is not my final destination. It's a funny thing. I come here to um, the term the what do you call them? The monitors at the terminal. The monitors that tell you where your connecting flight's going to be. And I see two Monterey's, one at 8:55, one at 10:30. Well, but it's different, right? Because the one at 8:55 is 1 hour, and the one at 10:30 is 2 hours. Okay, is that a mistake? No, it's not a mistake. The real one, the big one, Monterrey, Mexico, south of Laredo, Texas, has 2 R's. And for some reason, I don't know, I guess when after the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848, and the U.S. took over California from Mexico, I mean, they dropped the R, I guess, like Rhode Islanders do. They drop the ah, like there's always some ah that's missing at the end of a word. Like, you get in the car, you drive to Boston when you're in Rhode Island. Uh, Spent 2 years, 4 years in Rhode Island. I should know it, right? Uh, anyhow, yeah. So I'm masked up. I'm all protected to not get any diseases from all these nasty cowboy fans around here. But anyhow, uh, we're gonna get interrupted, I'm sure, by these inane announcements that are here in the terminals, and they're not as cool as the ones in Memphis. I remember the ones the ones at Memphis is like passengers at Memphis International Airport are reminded that this is a no smoking facility. You love that one, huh? Anyway, so um, yeah, I'm going to, or I was just a gleam in the eye in a city, couple hours bus rides outside of Monterrey in northern Mexico, in some very unpicturesque little town um, there. Outside of Monterrey, so I got to take a bus when I get there. But you'll join me on that trip. But anyhow, um, one thing that struck me uh, a little while ago that I want to talk to y'all about is Latino media. One of the guys I used to follow before he uh, moved over to RT, he was with CNN. Uh, he had that hot little hostess of his on his show. Well, Rick Sanchez is the guy. He's this Cuban American dude who used to have his own show at CNN. I liked his comments, and who was a Brooke Baldwin. Brooke Baldwin was her name, and ooh wee. Anyway, she had done very well for herself in his absence. I guess she benefited from his ouster from CNN during some talk in, I think it was some satellite radio where he was very candid about his thoughts about uh, Jews' influence in the media, and so he was disinvited from continuing his 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 news and commentary feature on CNN. He's like the I don't know, the predecessor to like Don Lemon or so, or Chris Cuomo, but he has a pretty prominent role in RT, which is very outspoken and very plain speaking um, English language, based in Washington D.C. versions of Russian, Russian news network. Interesting to see that take on stuff every now and then. But
Soros 1053, San Jose, Costa Rica, D21.
okay. So anyway, Rick was in. Well, I don't know. I don't think he was. He was at Fox Latino for a bit. So I would read Fox. Yeah, I mean, I would, so you have Fox, the mainline news source, and Fox Latino. And one thing really got my attention about that. They're reporting on some major roundup of undocumented immigrants in some part of the city. And the Fox main ship, the flagship station that was Fox.com that was carrying it, was showing like descriptions and celebrating the fact, right? So they were celebrating this fact that the Border Patrol or ICE at that time was rounding up all these dudes. But okay, so Fox Latino, guys in the same organization, okay? So full, orange, sunny Fox Latino with red letters and script and designer script branding, not the plain blue and gray thing. Oh, blue and gray. Logos of Fox, but the Fox Latino went with Rick Sanchez's thing. Rick Sanchez was the prominent personality here. It says, oh, this local community is being terrorized by the ISIS, the actions of ICE. What the hell? Okay, the same organization. And where they succeed in playing us for fools, we are fools. We are fools, basically. They're there. It just goes to show you they're not fair and balanced, and neither are a lot of organizations. I'll show you why. They're just getting as much as they want out of both, segments that are catered by two different ways. They don't have dissimilar interests necessarily, but they're obviously, the culture is formed in two different ways. It's not like
Welcome to DFW International
he's
Airport,
talking too
where
loud.
health and safety is our top priority. Please help us create a safe travel experience by following the Centers for Disease Control guidelines. Face coverings are required to be worn at the airport. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water,
We
and
got it,
maintain
man. We
6
got
feet
it.
of distance from others whenever possible.
Okay. Y'all didn't believe I was a DFW, now you know. But anyway, so turn over to the Olympic coverage, 2016. Because we missed the Olympics this year because of the pandemic. But the Olympic coverage, I don't have much sleep going on right now, so which is if I appear very sleepy, if my eyelids default to a rather half-closed state, that's just how it is right now. Until I get my first cup of coffee, which I will right after this video. But okay, I was noticing that all the Latino athletes were on the NBC Latino. Are you gonna say the whole damn thing in Spanish? Holy cow! I gotta pause this. Anyway, you think it's people who are English speaking and they hear Spanish? You think that's annoying? People who understand both languages are even more annoyed by hearing it again in a language that they understand. Okay, you're not special about how annoyed you are. By the way, you think you're a freaking American? You're in Texas, man. Texas is Mexico. Anyhow, so the Olympic coverage. So I noticed that in NBC Latino they were showing a lot of the Latino countries from Spanish import, from Spanish-speaking countries on that one. I didn't see anyone I didn't see any coverage, hardly any Spanish country uh, athlete in the flagship NBC coverage. I saw a lot of Brazil because they were the host country and they were doing rather well. Good for them. But I saw there was a diving competition. You know, diving, the women's diving competition. So yours truly going to take an interest in that, but for more reasons other than the attire, for sure. But anyway, so there was this, the showing the leaderboard, and the leaderboard on the leaderboard between fourth and sixth place, there was this lady from Mexico that was always on the leaderboard, but they never showed her. They never showed her. They would show people behind her from the USA, from Great Britain, from Brazil, from China, from Russia, um, from, you know, favorite, I guess who they determined who our favorite countries are in among the English-speaking NBC viewership, because all the Spanish-speaking were relegated to another channel, right? And I never saw any coverage on the mainline channel, except maybe a little bit of coverage once she finally won the gold medal, to the Puerto Rican girl who won the gold medal in tennis, which is a really big effing deal, man. And she's like, you know, that's our territory. It's our possession. We should be cheering for them. You know, underdog. So they didn't cover like the run up to it. Of course, the Latino channel covered the heck of it. We saw very little other than the medal ceremony and the victory and this little interview afterwards from that on the mainline NBC channel. I thought that was foul. You wonder why the country is so separate in their thinking, because the voices that mainstream, you know, but their advertisers are telling us two different messages. So artificially, we are creating two different cultural consensus within us, not by what we do at the water cooler or the workplace or out in the park or they're about, you know, whatever. But this is from the media. It's artificially creating a, first of all, I don't like their influence on the Latino culture at all. At all. I think Mr. Estefan is having way too much influence of what music comes out in you know, these outlets. And I'm sick of all of his freaking little reggaeton shit that he promotes. But that's another story altogether. But anyhow, yeah, media is not doing anybody any favors, and specifically with respect to the Latino community and the Latino community within the greater community. Oh, the kicker here. Don't even hide it. ESPN, you're really bad about this. But they're open about it. They're very open about it. I remember when I was first becoming a fan of the U.S. soccer team here. Well, I remember what. I remember that, you know, that at the same time the Duke and UNC Classic was going on, which had been uh, always the highest rated college basketball event on TV. It was opposite U.S. Mexico soccer, because ostensibly the fan bases for both of those things, for both those major things, were very distinct. So they tried, ESPN maximized the take on that night and had both events on separate channels, ESPN2 versus ESPN, on separate channels, right? At the same time. Now, no matter if it was just a regular friendly game or a tournament event, it happened two other times. That's not a coincidence. Where U.S. versus Mexico in soccer is opposite Duke UNC. What I'm very proud to say is that one succeeding year in the 2008-2009 season, it wasn't the Duke UNC um, basketball event that was the highest rated college basketball event. By far, it was the University of Memphis versus University of Tennessee, number one versus two um, at the FedEx Forum for all the smoke. Oh yeah, and Memphis lost, but they won in the ratings. Like, oh, terrific ratings. I would do my Trump lips, but terrific ratings. Terrific rating, like 5.1 versus 3.7 for a Duke UNC game. Priscilla Presley was there. It was awesome. The whole thing was blue. Um, Freaking Graceland had blue lights on it. It was very dramatic. Derrick Rose almost beat University of Tennessee by himself. Anyhow, that was a sweet memory. Not as sweet the way the season ended with those missed free throws. But anyhow, so this is your boy, Efren Tinoco, signing off. Not from North Memphis, but from DFW Airport. And I'll be back to you later in another country. Bye.